Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your biltong and brace your stands because the battle for Orania has officially reached DEFCON 5. That's right, the EFF, Colney House, and Julius Malema have tag teamed in the Thanos level mission of Orania must fall. Dun dun dun. And what started as a debate in Parliament has now turned into what looks like the final season of Thanos Game of Thrones, Afrikaner edition. Karl Niehaus, yes, the Karl, not Karl Marx, but the political Lazarus and recent EFF Member of Parliament, rose dramatically in Parliament, threw on his revolutionary cloak, and declared that Orania and KLEINFONTEIN are insidious dangers to the soul of South Africa. Yes, because clearly the biggest issue facing this country isn't load shedding, isn't corruption, or unemployment. No, it's a 2,500 person town in the middle of the desert with its own currency and above average recycling program. And let's not forget Kleinfontein, the lesser known cousin of Orania. Think Orania, but with fewer tourists and a stronger smell of nostalgia. According to Niehaus, these towns are the mortal enemies of nation building. I wonder what nation building, but nonetheless. Meanwhile, the ANC, who've had 30 years to build, said, nation quietly nodded, took notes, and probably Googled, what is Orania? ANC MP Joy Maimela chimed in, warning that these white-only enclaves pose a serious threat to post-1994 progress. And I mean fair, but ma'am, have you seen what's going on in ANC-run municipalities? Orania has a working sewage system. In some ANC towns, the only thing working is corruption. And trust me, it's the only thing that is doing overtime. And then enters our revolutionary in-chief, Mr. Julius Malema, in full EFF fashion. Malema vowed that Orania must be abolished and that black and white people should live side by side in harmony and one rainbow nation, which sounds great until you realize he's screaming it through a red beret while planning a march through a town with solar-powered streetlights and no crime. So let me get this straight. The EFF wants the government to intervene and disband Orania because nothing screams freedom like forced integration. Right. Meanwhile, the Orania movement and the Vryheidsfront, or otherwise known as the Freedom Front Plus, VF Plus, sat down with the EFF for a lovely tea meeting, probably over rooibos, organic, to talk this out like grown-ups. And shockingly, the meeting ended in a stalemate. So much for chess. Who would have thought that people who believe in socialist revolution and those who want to bring back the Volksraad wouldn't agree? We're very far apart, said VF Plus leader in the province, Wynand Boshoff, probably while clutching his leather-bound copy of the Constitution. But we have points of contact. Translation, we both agreed that South African politics is a circus, but at least we're both clowns. Shadrach Klaule, the EFF provincial chairperson, added that their march to Premier Zamani Sol's office will absolutely go on, because that's what we do in South Africa. We march, whether it's for fees, service delivery, or abolishing a town smaller than a rugby stadium. And just like that, Orania has become the Kanye West of towns. Controversial, isolated, refuses to change, and somehow is always trending. Let's not forget, Orania is legal. The self-government is permitted by Section 235 of the Constitution. They've got their own bank, currency, zero crime rate, 100% employment, and functional service delivery. I would live there if I was Afrikaner. Meanwhile, we have municipalities run by leaders who can't spell audit. So here's the million-rand question. Who's the real failure here? A self-governing town that picks up its trash on time, or national parties that blame that town for their own inability to fix potholes. But hey, maybe the solution is simple. Give Orania to the ANC for 6 months. If it's still standing after that, we'll talk. Until then, Orania will probably continue doing what it does best. Ignore everyone, plant pecan nuts, and avoid Eskom load shedding, like the plague. This is South Africa, folks, where the more things fall apart, the more we argue about a town with fewer people than a high school. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am actually, pardon me, I am your host, Kuhle Maseko. I just had a slip of thought there. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Should Orania be abolished, or should we send the EFF to fix Emalahleni first? Peace, power, and potholes. Till next time, I'm moving to Orania.